Every country, city, town and village has some beautiful things and some horrible things. Sometimes the good things make the bad seem insignificant, and sometimes the bad things make the good stuff seem inexistent. According to the internet, here are the worst places to visit in India. Know before you go! Number 1. Drass. The mountain town of Drass sits at 3,300 meters and is the second coldest inhabited place in the world, with temperatures sometimes dropping below -45 degrees centigrade. Drass is only accessible by road, the National Highway 1, which, if we're being honest, is a rather extravagant name for such a humble trail. In addition to being hard to visit and hard to stay in, Drass has also had problems with Pakistani invasions, the Kargil War in 1999, and in another incident in 2013. To this day, unexploded ammunition and ordnance are still being found around the area. Number 2. Bastar. Bastar is in an area known as the Red Corridor. The Red Corridor is a region in India where left-wing extremists called the Naxalite Maoist insurgency have a strong presence. Terrorist attacks on police and armed forces are fairly common in the area, and although they are not directed against civilians, there have been many civilian casualties. Even though it is a beautiful, relatively unexplored destination populated by indigenous tribes, it is also home to an estimated 5,000 Maoists, making it just too dangerous to visit. Number 3. Kanpur. What you can expect from Kanpur is a busy city with beautiful architecture, parks and gardens sitting on the banks of the Ganges River, and famous for its high-quality leather and textiles. What you really get is a dirty, congested city that hasn't been able to keep up with its own rate of growth. The water is heavily contaminated with chromium from the tanneries, and only half of it is treated before being dumped into the Ganges River. The air is polluted by factories and the excessive numbers of vehicles on its inadequate roads. The streets are littered with rubbish that is unable to be transported to its over 400 open-air dumps, and continuous and regular power cuts highlight the city's drastic energy problems. Number 4. Kishtwar-Killar Road. The Kishtwar-Killar Road is the worst place to drive in India. The 121 kilometers from Killar to Kishtwar is a tough journey even for an experienced driver, but the last 50 kilometers are brutal. Made from rocks and gravel, the road has steep inclines and declines and no rails or barriers to stop you going off the edge and into the 300-meter freefall and into the Chandrabhaga River. The road snakes along the cliff face it has been cut into, and the rock above hinders you from seeing oncoming traffic. Because the road is barely a car wide, with barely room for two in certain places, if you do meet oncoming traffic, you may find yourself having to reverse back down all the terrifying bends until you can find a place where you can get past. In addition to this, storms and flooding can make it unpassable even for 4x4s, and the change in altitude reduces oxygen levels, which can lead to dizziness, and that is not something you want to experience whilst driving on this road. Number 5. Gures Valley. The Gures Valley is located just below the military line of control between India and Pakistan. In addition to being a rather volatile and precarious place, it is also littered with unexploded shells and landmines. The area is subject to heavy snowfall from November to March and is highly prone to avalanches, having once experienced over 80 avalanches in a 3-day period. Number 6. Mumbai. Mumbai is one of the most densely populated cities in the world, with close to 80,000 people packed into every square mile. That's 6 times as many as there are in London, England. Mumbai has a trash collection and a treatment problem, and garbage litters its streets. Sandstorms, factories, and traffic congestion pollute the air with up to 20 times more dangerous particles than are deemed safe by the World Health Organization. In fact, Mumbai's air quality is only really safe during the rainy monsoon season, when flooding cripples transport systems and the streets become rivers of refuse. These problems aren't just specific to Mumbai, they are actually apparent in Delhi, Bengaluru, and in most of India's larger cities. This doesn't mean that Mumbai or other cities don't have some beautiful tourist gems to see, it's just that no matter how beautiful a jewel is, it doesn't really shine much when it's covered in dirt. Have you been to India? Which place did you think was the worst? Let us know in the comments below.